It is tea time. No, it is time for Kiwanis Connects, coming to you live from Virginia Beach and California. Welcome to another edition of Kiwanis Connects. I am Aaron Phillips, the voice, getting ready for some wintry weather this weekend. I was in Vegas last week, 72 degrees, and now I'm here in Virginia Beach, and I got 20 degrees and snow this weekend, Doc Val. What can I do about that?
Big sweaters.
Yeah.
There's
exactly.
there's so much to be said.
Big sweaters, lots of hot chocolate, and a warm, fuzzy blanket. And unfortunately, that crud and congestion was starting to get into my system. And now my wife, Eileen, she is dealing with it. So I think the two of us are going to be hunkered down in a crappy weather weekend under blankets and not doing much this weekend. But enough about all of that. Thank you, everybody, for watching and tuning in to another edition of Kiwanis Connects. As we said, listen, it's what is it? We're almost at the end of January. Can you believe the first month of the year is almost over? It's crazy how time flies. We have a lot to do today. We have a guest scheduled to come in with us. We're waiting for him to join. But, of course, we always have Melissa Atwell, Mental Health Moment. We have Val's Wow Moments and Spotlights. We had Val on the road, maybe, although those of you in the know, you know where Val's been on the road to and from anyway. And, of course, bad dad jokes coming from the book, A Dad Joke a Day. So I'm gonna simply review the January jokes because I think today we can all use a little extra laughter. And, of course, you out there, we want your comments and thoughts all in the chat room like you all usually do. Thoughts and prayers. I was speaking with Kathy Zemansky earlier, Doc Val. You'd appreciate this because you know the storm's coming across the coast. We're expecting some crappy weather. So, of course, we know Kathy deals with a little snow up there in Erie. So I don't feel as bad because I asked how much snow she's expecting. You ready for this? I'm glad you're sitting down. 1 to 2 feet and 20 degrees below zero for temperatures. What do you think about that?
I am thinking
I'm
buffering again.
I was just going to say you're buffering a little bit. By the way, I see one Andy K is in the chat room. Good to see you out there, Andy. No, I'm glad you're able to join us this morning. But let's see if we test that audio again. Are you at the home office?
I think that if we show a commercial or something, I'll check out on another device.
Okay. All right. John, can you queue up a couple of things there so we can?
I'm at the home office, but I'm going to check out and come back.
Sounds like a plan. All right. So you know what? Let's, John, do you have maybe, why don't you pop on with us, John, for a moment or two, but instead of going to a commercial?
I have just the thing for this kind of moment.
You do?
Yep. Stand by, because here we go.
We're standing by.
If you want attention, you need more than an ad. You need a presence. Welcome to WWDB TV, your internet streaming TV station built for business and people. We create high-impact commercials and video podcasts with pro production. Then we help distribute your show where audiences already watch and listen. Your brand, your story. Broadcast ready. On streaming, on social, and beyond. Ready to be seen? Visit www.dbtv.com and book your production today.
That's not bad. You know what I need you to do, John, is I need you to email me that new logo so that when I do my promos, I can use the right logo.
Yeah, you like that new logo?
I do. Cool, that's really sharp. I like that. Yeah. Very superhero-esque.
Yeah.
Has a good flavor for that. So what's happening in Vegas, Kiwanis? You're a member of the Centennial Kiwanis Club.
Yes, I am.
Why don't you share a little bit about that club?
I haven't been to a meeting in 2 months.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that report.
But no. But I get all the updates and just like all the other clubs, they really do a good job out here. And they're always focused on, what can we do to make things better? How can we help the community? How can we help the children? And man, what a fantastic picture of Val.
Look at that.
Is that awesome or what?
I just keep popping up. Again, I'm telling you.
All right.
You're looking good. Very clear.
Thank
Nice.
You.
Yeah, bright and cheery. And Yeah,
she's got a
never
lot of
mind.
caffeine, I think is the issue, right? She's caffeinated right now. John was just filling us in on the Centennial Kiwanis Club that he is a member of, even though he hasn't been to a meeting in 2 months. Fortunately, he gets newsletters.
But my problem, I may have to find another club because the time that they meet, I've got a show or I'm doing something, and it's, I can't just say, hey, I got to get out of here, guys. So
I heard.
or maybe I can talk them all into changing the schedule just for me.
There you
Just
go.
for you.
I heard
We've got 1 degree of separation, John. And that is because I was one of the lead club openers for the Centennial Club.
I know that.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people there still know you and still remember you.
And still blame
And
me.
some of them say nice things.
Well,
No,
rumor has it.
They all love you, Val.
Rumor has
I
it,
love
John,
them too.
that one Melissa Atwell from Mental Health Moment is considering a new Kiwanis Club that she could use some members soon.
Right.
So that might be something to consider if you,
know
are,
what? You know what? I'm going to give her a call. I'm going to reach out to her because that way, if I could coordinate it from the beginning, because I feel bad that I can't contribute because that's why I joined. And it's just like, well, where's that idiot? He never shows up.
Yeah.
Well, I can give you some updates and details on that because actually I'll be in Las Vegas, hopefully on the 12th of February, for our organizational meeting. And Melissa's team is so excited, and it's called the Kiwanis Club of Las Vegas for Mental Health Care, or CARES, CARES.
I like it.
And so it is in partnership with the Mental Health Moment 501c3.
Cool.
We're looking for people that want to actively be involved in making mental health a basic process for any kiddo. So it's like a hygiene, so every day you're supposed to wake up and brush your teeth. You're supposed to wash your hands. You're supposed to be kind, and you need to focus in on your mental health. So
I like it. That is great. That is great. As a matter of fact, the mentalhealthmoment.org, waiting for their website to get updated. They are going to be doing a donation incentive campaign. Make some donations, minimum of $100, excuse me, to the Mental Health Moment organization. You'll be able to qualify for a 5-day, 4-night trip to Cancun. So they're going to start.
Where's that Cancun lady?
That's right, Cancun lady. She is stalking quickly. Good morning, Kathy. Good morning, Judy. Good morning, Dale. Thank you so very much. We're going to have to change the name of Cancun Lady to Vacation Lady because she is expanding her reach of resorts and countries that they're going to be able to get travel certificates to. She talked about Greece. She talked about Italy. She talked about Israel. So no longer just Cancun. We're going to have to name her the Vacation Lady or the Bag Lady because of all the luggage you got to now take. I don't know, one or the other. But anyway.
Sounds good. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So should we try to get this show back on the rails, John?
Oh, yeah, we should do a show while we're all here. Right?
Yeah, why not? Let's go. Although our guest isn't here yet, so I don't know how far we're going to get, but I'll turn it over to Val to see where we want to go since our guest has not checked in as of yet.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2.
Good morning, everybody. Oh, okay. There we go. I think we've done that.
Aaron, I think that today, if our guest doesn't come on, one of the things that we can really talk about, and I know a lot of people are hitting this, it's we're 2 weeks in, or 3 weeks into January, and most resolutions that people make are busted within the first 14 days. People meet their resolutions, and then life starts to happen and get in the way. And I think that even in Kiwanis, that's the same way, where we set all these goals for the Kiwanis New Year, and we have all these great plans, and all of a sudden you look up and no one's following you. No one is behind you. And so I think we should talk about how to get back on track, how to set reasonable processes when life gets in the way as we wait for our guest. If he doesn't show up, hey, we still have a great show.
We always have a good show. We got so much. I think that's a fun idea. I just put a message in the chat room. We'll see how many people will respond. I asked, what was your resolution? Put your New Year's resolution in there. We'd love to share to see if it's something that, will fall into that category. There's only one resolution per year that I make, Doc Vallo, and it's very simply this. I don't make New Year's resolutions. That's my resolution. I don't make New Year's resolutions because you know what? New Year shouldn't necessarily be the word because we should have our, that's right. Judy just put this in the chat room. Quitter's Day was January 9th. So you had 9 days to quit your resolution. I saw that, Judy. Thank you for resharing that. I forgot about that. But if you were to design to, let's say, quit smoking, that would be an okay Quitter's Day to do that. But no, seriously, I mean, the goals we set should not be, see, Kathy's same thing. She doesn't make New Year's resolutions either. We should be setting forth our goals that they really last us throughout the year. They shouldn't just be things that we do because it's the start of the year, like exercise, losing weight. I mean, those are all the same ones. I think when it comes to business goals and life goals, I think we have to strive for those every day anyway. But I think perhaps resolutions maybe should be more of habitual things that we should either resolve to do or not do anymore. I don't know, just kind of a unique take on that.
And I love that because I had this amazing life coach a while back, and she said that it's not about setting these resolutions because resolutions are like a number on the dartboard. You can keep throwing the dart, and sometimes you're going to get lucky, and sometimes you're not. If you're not a pro at the game. And so she was more of focusing in on setting a mantra that you can set that habit for. And one of those mantras is picking a word of the year or a motto of the year, putting it in front of yourself and moving forward. And her name is Dorcas Kelly. I always give her a shout out. And she is this amazing life coach. And so my word of the year is transformation.
Transformation. Okay.
Transformation. And part of it is because this is a magical year in my life. It just marks the 25th anniversary of my being married to my husband. It marks I turned 60 this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Age is only a number.
Yeah, age is only a number, but when you don't realize, I know many people can identify with this. I didn't ever think I'd get this old. I didn't think it was going to be an opportunity.
I have to pop in here at this point because
because John is old, that's why.
Yeah, no shit. But seriously, a friend of mine had a birthday either yesterday or the day before, and I called her and sang happy birthday to her. And she said, I said, how you doing? And she goes, I'm really proud. And I went, oh, cool. Why are you really proud? She goes, all the crap that I've been through in my life, and I've made it this far. It's an accomplishment. Look what I've accomplished in this amount of years. And I thought, what a great way to look at that instead of, hey, I'm getting old. It's like, hey, look how far I made it. I made it to level 78, and so I just thought that was really cool, and I wanted to share it, and that's all.
I love that.
Have you ever noticed he's like a whack-a-mole? He's like a whack-a-mole.
It's fabulous. But this also is the 10th year, that 10th anniversary of me making a conscious decision with Andy that I would retire from working for money and I moved into working for my heart. And I have been a full-time Kiwanian and a Kiwanis leader for 10 years.
Right on. That's a great goal. That's a great thing to have happen.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
And it's not a full-time paid, because there's a lot of people out there going, Val, you must get paid a lot of money because you show up everywhere. And it's like, honey, it costs a lot of money for me to do what I do. And the Bank of Val and Andy has afforded that process.
Filing negative returns this year.
So, and my life has been geared around, for 10 years around service.
Right on.
And because there have been so many things happening in the world that we have no control over. And I know that I was just talking to a bunch of 11-year-olds, and it made me cry, and I had to hold it in crying because they were like, I'm so sad. Every time I turn on the TV, and each one of them was talking about what part of what they were watching on TV made them sad.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like the only time that they feel like they can do something is when they show up to a Builders Club meeting. And it was just like, wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
So when we start to think about what's going on for us as adults, is thinking about how it is impacting our kids out there. And so I just want to do a shout out to every last Builders Club advisor, every last K Kids advisor, Key Club, Circle K. It's, you are that shining light, and you are that shining adult that makes a difference, especially during crisis times.
Yep.
And I don't think most of us realize that.
Oh, we always can control. What's the old saying? We should just worry about the things we can control, right? That's whatever the rest of that saying is.
Mm-hmm,
and I think a lot of times where a lot of people fall into the trap is we start trying to control the things, or want to control the things we can't control. And I'm just as guilty of it. It's, if something's going on around me that's going to affect me, but I can't control it, I want to control it because it's going to affect me. But I don't have the wherewithal to do that. And it's not in my wheelhouse to do so. But you have to figure out how to cope with those things. And that's part of the learning curve every day as well, is how to restructure that thought process into focusing the energy to control what you can control, because others are watching you. That's the thing we forget about. Others are watching you and how you respond and how you react and do certain things that, you could forget about that and say or do things that you kind of wish you could take back. But once it's out there, it's like the internet, you're stuck. So
absolutely. And, and I think it's amplified when you look at people who wear the K on their collar. People truly are watching. And so it started this new process out here in California, and it's called Club Revitalization. And Club Revitalization is focusing in on where your club is right now and what you're doing, and figuring out how you can grow with your strengths that you have. But it also means taking a hard look at the things that you need to stop doing. And a couple of the clubs that I've done this intake interview with my team, and Judy, who typed in, is one of the leading people in this club revitalization process. But a couple of the clubs that have asked for it, I've looked at it and realized it's, some people don't realize that their K is what people know them by. And if they are not living up to the objects of Kiwanis, no one wants to join you.
Right.
I guess I'm getting too philosophical today.
No. It's again, that's it. Perception is reality. What people perceive becomes their reality, whether it's real or not. What people see, how other people act and what they do and how they say and carry themselves, for the outsider, that's reality, whether it's intentional or not. And that's what a lot of people base their decisions on, based on what they see and observe. With that, we're going to step aside. We're running a few minutes behind because we kind of got a little bit of a late start. Thank you, John Crawford, for getting your message in there, sending well wishes to Andy. We appreciate that. All right, we come back, more conversation with Val and I, and you keep chiming in the chat room with your thoughts, comments, queries, innuendos, pseudonyms, homonyms, and hymns. If you want to sing a hymn, you can sing a hymn in there too. I don't really care. Just make it fun. All right, we come back, more with us. You're watching Kiwanis Connect. We'll be right back.
2 out of 3 kids in America can't read at grade level. And without help, many will never catch up. In a world of screens, short attention spans, and endless distractions, getting kids excited about reading has never been harder. That's where Kiwanis Club steps in. Through Inchy's bookworm vending machines, kids earn tokens for positive behaviors, achievements, kindness, and more, and use them to pick a book they just can't wait to read. Every book is a child's to keep. Every book builds a personal at-home library, and every page sparks curiosity, confidence, and lifelong learning. Your club can make it happen. Let's put more books and more smiles into the hands of kids who need them most. Together, we can change the story, one book at a time. To learn more, go to bookvending.com/Kiwanis.
I wouldn't let aging stop me from being me.
Oh yeah, still got those moves in me.
I will be fabulous.
I will accessorize.
Comfort Care can help with as much or as little home care as you need. From medication reminders and meal prep to everyday chores and errands. Let us create your personalized care plan and find the perfect caregiver match so you can live your best life possible.
Does your house need a new paint job, a bathroom remodel, or a new fence around the yard? With 40 years of experience, Different Strokes Painting and Handyman Service handles all type of work, inside and out, and from floor to ceiling. Different Strokes offers great value and great quality. Call Craig today and schedule your free estimate by dialing 757-395-9999. That's 757-395-9999. Above the rest, they show up and show out by making your vision come to life.
All right, welcome back to Kiwanis Connects. I was in the process of looking some information up, and I want to share with our great audience. You know, we always talk about this, Val, about without our audience and the things that we like to share within our community, how successful the show is. As we now, you and I are in our third season doing this. Something happened. Maybe, speaking of resolutions, maybe more people had a resolution of watching Kiwanis Connects more than they did the previous year. Because I want to share with you and our audience the view numbers thus far for the last couple episodes dating really back to the beginning of the year, okay? So I hope you're sitting down, which I know you are, so that's kind of a loaded question. So let's start off with the episode where we had Mary, Linda, right? That was her real name is Mary, right? That was 85,000 views for her show. Not bad, right? Not bad. So then we go back to the international trustee candidate. I'm blanking on his name. Why am I blanking on his name? It's not a good day.
Eric Paul.
There you go. Eric Paul. Thank you very much. How about, you ready for this? 116,000 views so far for that show since that show aired. But wait, there's more. How about the show that we did with Andre and the ladies who went to the Rose Bowl parade? Remember them, including one who's an Indiana Hoosier fan? Are you ready for this? 271,000 views for that show. Okay? So if you're out there watching this right now and you have a business and you want to know what kind of audience can I reach, well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got the answer for you. If you want to learn more, you can send me an email at kiwanisconnectsinfo@gmail.com. KiwanisConnectsInfo@gmail.com. Whatever we are doing, we ain't changing because it's working, especially for 2026, because a lot of people must have resolved to watch us because the numbers are ridiculously high, which is great, and we love it. Also, don't forget, you can always watch any of the replays on YouTube or Facebook, but Sunday mornings, 8 a.m., the show airs on a network called DB like dumbbell, DBTV.TV, 8 a.m., Kiwanis Connects is aired on DB, stands for David Bruner. He is a gentleman that's been in the entertainment industry for about 40 plus years as an agent and entertainer himself. And so he provides that as well. So thank you to our great audience who supports what Kiwanis Connects is all about. So how to do that. Hi, Chuggy. Good to see you out there, Chug. All right. Anyway, I digress. So let's get back to the conversation at hand. We were talking about resolutions and how they bust relatively quickly, but how they translate into resolutions that people make for Kiwanis or their clubs, right?
Absolutely. And you know, that's why I was talking about our club revitalization process before we went into break, because it's one of those things where we stop using all those business terms, you know, because business terms used to be, well, we're going to have a strategic plan. And we're going to implement that strategic plan with some SMART goals, and we're going to do all of that. And, you know, most people who join a Kiwanis club, they're tired of hearing those words all day long. That's not how they want to operate. But they do want to figure out, how do we make sure that Kiwanis isn't the best kept secret in the communities? And
Mm-hmm.
and as I look around, we're still those magic fairies that do things in the middle of the night. And the last time it was putting up flags. In my community, we've been around since 1958. And 4 times a year, we put up all of the flags. In the beginning, when we could afford it, all of the countries that are represented in my town of Marina, which is 54 countries, um, all 54 of them, their flags were put out once a year, as well as all the American flags and all the POW and all those kind of flags are put out. And it was this past July when we're there, and one of the city workers said, "Wow, I've lived here my whole life. I was actually born here. I didn't know this was a Kiwanis project." What is
Wow.
Kiwanis?
Uh,
Really?
yep.
Yeah. He says, "I used to just drive down the street and the flag showed up and then the flags were gone.
Right.
And we were the magic fairies." And it just dawned on me, darn it, we're not doing a good job in letting
Mm-hmm.
people know that they can be a part of what we're doing, that they can be a part of the magic that is Kiwanis. So,
It's so funny. I mean, I'm sure everybody watching and the millions and millions of Kiwanis around the world all have those kind of stories. But it's still amazing that when you do ask somebody if they're familiar with Kiwanis and you bring it up and you see that glazed look over their face, I always have to say something like, it's similar to Rotary Lions, and then they get it. Then they get what we are as a community service group. And then I back it down by saying, but we rely on community service first. This is not a business networking group, although business relationships will develop over time. But if you want to give back to the community, this is the club to be. This is the organization to be a part of. At least, unfortunately, I find that I have to make that connection with the other groups for people to realize what a community service group really is.
mm-hmm. And that's the piece about those resolutions is I think that if your club is setting a club resolution or a club goal for the year and what you're moving forward to, it is that you're making sure that people know who the heck you are.
Yep.
And what you stand for, and I guess I'm possessive in the sense of what belongs to Kiwanis. Because it's whenever a city goes through a transition and they get an all new city manager and an all new city council, people think that there are certain programs that are just city based because
Right.
Kiwanis partners so well with lions and tigers and all of those organizations, and the elk and the mooses. Oh my! And the mooses. We partner really, really well.
Sure.
And when things get very popular, then the city seems to want to take it over. And I think that as Kiwanians, we need to make sure that we're at the table with our cities so that we're part of that 2030 financial plan that's being developed. They were part of the Blue Zones planning. And if you're not unaware of what a Blue Zone is the in trend for city and urban development. And it's because they want to, cities want to be able to have a population that, on average, people can live to be 100 years old and thriving. And so there are things that a city needs to have, which is good medical health care, not just within the hospitals, but it's our health and nutrition and those things that are available from childhood to senior wisdom zone. It needs to have the literacy and education opportunities where all of the schools and universities tie in together so that there's ongoing learning and brain development. And there's opportunities for people to serve. And so Kiwanis fits perfectly into that. and their resources. That's the magic. Melinda Gates, Melinda Gates has given millions of dollars towards these blue zone projects. So why can't Kiwanis get some of that money to work on playgrounds and Zen gardens and sensory gardens and those kind of things? I think, and so I think that's so important.
I think a lot of times it's a matter of people not knowing where to turn to reach out to those people, and there's a fear factor of not knowing. It's like, oh, they'll never do it, or I don't know how to reach them, so let's just forget about it and rub our two nickels together that we already have. But you know what? It's the old saying, you don't know unless you ask, because if they say no, you're no worse off than you were before if you didn't ask in the first place. But at least you asked, and at least you're on the radar for the next time, and you just stay after it. And it is a matter of consistency. But you're right, there are, and listen, it's tougher now to get those donation dollars. There's no question that economy and all the reasons everybody wants to talk about, it is tougher, but that doesn't mean that organizations or donors won't do it. Sometimes it's timing, sometimes it's the right cause, sometimes it's maybe they woke up on the wrong side of the bed that day, who knows? But the money's out there. You just have to, weed through it, and eventually the odds of all those no's that you get can turn around easily and become the yeses. That's like any sales kind of philosophy. That's really what we're talking about. But it's consistency in approaching these donors to see if they can support what's happening. And when it comes to what we do, children is the key. Everybody loves supporting programs with children. And given that's a big part of who we are, it really should make the request a little bit easier. Should make the request a little bit easier.
Well, people want something that ties them into making a change or making a transformation. And so one of the things that almost every single workshop that's out there right now in fundraising is focused in on how do you share the message that's transformational. It's not, I don't think this newest generation, especially Gen Z, they got a lot of participation trophies. So they're not really interested in the medallions and all those kind of things. What they want to know is, how did I help make something happen?
Right.
And a couple of years ago, we talked about during COVID times, some guy put up a thing on the internet. I need beer money. Can you zoom over beer money? And he made $1.2 million. In GoFundMe beer dollars, because people said, wow, okay, hey, I can make a difference. If I send $7.50.
Right.
And there are people that will donate thousands of dollars for putting their pet's face on the side of a special van. I don't want to name the organization, and not think twice about it. And there are people that, darn it, they'll take all of their kids to a place with Mickey Mouse ears, and they will spend $1,000 a person. But when you talk about dues, they freak out. But when you talk about the impact of what you're doing and the transformation of what you do, dues doesn't matter. They don't think twice.
Denver Bronco Hall of Famer and good guy all around, Mr. Rick Upchurch, is in the chat room, and he put a message out there: children are gifts from God, our future. And no question, I believe one of my philosophies when I was working in the elementary school system as a tutor, I always believed that actually everybody could probably fall under this. We can all use as many positive influences in our life as possible, no matter what level. But as a kid, you don't know what someone's childhood is like in their house. And so sometimes their teacher, their tutor, whoever they are with, is the only other positive reinforcement that they get. And to be a positive influence in a child's life, because you don't know how much of it they may have that's negative, never hurts. And that's why, like Rick said, we treat them as gifts. We treat them as, to a certain extent, with some fragility, because their psyches can be very fragile depending upon what's going at home. They need us. Whether we wear a K on our shirt for Kiwanis or not, being able to work with kids and give back, I think that's what we should be doing no matter what.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that that's what ties us together in a way that makes Kiwanis magical. And
Mm-hmm.
I guess maybe my word should be, instead of transformational, just be magical this year.
Magical.
Magical.
Like that Mickey Mouse guy.
Yeah, they're the
Magical.
Mickey Mouse guy. Magical. But it's because when I think back on my childhood, and it's just like, I don't think anybody outside of our doors would have ever realized what our story was. And we had the cloak of being able to be a part of a military family. So by the time anybody might have figured out what behind the closed doors look like, we had already moved, because we moved 17 times in the first 15 years of my life.
Holy cow.
Yeah. And that included a couple of long-term stints in Germany, Belgium, and Japan, where we spent a longer amount of time in that situation. And so I have gravitated towards Kiwanis because Kiwanis allows for me to be that adult for so many children out there, and so many adult children who haven't healed yet, because of all the resources and the linkages that we have. It's the first organization that, in all of my research, because I feel this need to belong. I don't like doing the solo thing. That's why I love being married to Mr. Andy. I don't like being single. It's not to say that, Andy, that's the only reason I married you. But Kiwanis gives you that chance because it's not religious focused, but it honors, if you are religious and you're spiritual or whatever, it honors you in that. But that's not our focus, and that's not our tie-in. And we're not political. So I can sit in a room and make plans for our community and have every political spectrum, but it's like, I don't have to hear about your politics.
Yep.
Hear from your heart about how you want to help kids.
Andy replied in the chat room. He said, "Yeah, right." Rick says they only mirror what adults do, and he also says we must occupy their idle time. I'll leave that thought out there for a moment. I just want to share this with you, Val, as we go to our second and final break of the show, because we still have so much to do. You said you moved 17 times in 15 years. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
You realize you moved 1.13 times per year.
Yes.
So I want to know about the 0.13. How do you move 0.13 times per year?
So in most schooling systems in the old days, as long as you were in class by October 15th, you could count that, and you finished out that term, you could count that as a full term. And so there were some years where we moved every 4 months. And so we would start a term, and then if you made it all the way from the beginning of a term to April 15th, and you could pass all the exams, then you were able to advance. And so that's how the magic works. And so there isn't a lot of stability in that, and there's not a lot of social skills that are built up in that. That's why I sometimes tell the story that I didn't know that there were more than five or six Black people in the world, because the only people in some of the communities that I went to were my family that looked like me. And so I have a very different perspective when I go to a new community and I see someone that looks like me, and I'm like, wow, I want to know everything about you. I want to know how we fit together. And I also don't have some filters that some other people do, which is every person I encounter, I just want to get to know them as who they are and where they are as fast as possible, because I never know when life is going to change.
Right.
Yeah. And before we go to break, it's like one of the things is, in Kiwanis, we realize that each one of our Kiwanians is in it for potentially a different reason other than ours. And that's why we keep going back to when you join Kiwanis, it is for the community, it's for the kids, and all the other things that happen in life. That's your story.
Right.
That's great.
For sure.
It's
who you
Because
are.
life can change in a heartbeat.
Yep.
And my life changed in a heartbeat last week.
Yep.
And so I am so forever grateful to know that our Kiwanis of 2026 is very different from Kiwanis of 1976. Because in those days, you had to have perfect attendance. You had to be at everything. If you didn't show up at a meeting more than twice, they gave you a call, and it was called a welfare call because maybe you were dead.
Yep.
Sitting on the side of the road versus just having a life and making life decisions.
Or sitting on the side of the road doing a podcast.
Yes. So if you're out there, because we have, it was like 261,000 views for a show.
Yep.
It's like if you're one of those viewers and you've been going, well, I can't commit to every week doing the same thing or going to a meeting. Really consider joining Kiwanis Club, because we're not the Kiwanis Club of 50 years ago. Even though we just celebrated 111th birthday this week, or Kiwaniversary, as an organization around the world. Our attendance it's not about time and seat. It's time and service. And it's serving where you can, when you can. So.
And with all the different options clubs offer in terms of projects, there's always something for everybody. So even if you may not like one project or one organization, there's always going to be enough to do. All right. Yes, Rick, I feel the same way. I owe you the next time I come out there or come out to Virginia Beach, and I'll take care of you out this way. All right. We're going to step aside for a final break of the show. So much more to do. We got mental health moment, bad dad jokes, Val on the road maybe, but of course we all know where Val's been on the road lately. Kiwanis Spotlight. Oh, did I mention bad dad jokes? We'll be right back.
Does your house need a new paint job, a bathroom remodel, or a new fence around the yard? With 40 years of experience, Different Strokes Painting and Handyman Service handles all type of work inside and out and from floor to ceiling. Different Strokes offers great value and great quality. Call Craig today and schedule your free estimate by dialing 757-395-9999. That's 757-395-9999. Above the rest, they show up and show out by making your vision come to life.
I won't let aging stop me from being me.
Oh yeah, still got those moves in me.
I will be fabulous.
I will accessorize.
Comfort Care can help with as much or as little home care as you need. From medication reminders and meal prep to everyday chores and errands. Let us create your personalized care plan and find the perfect caregiver match so you can live your best life possible.
2 out of 3 kids in America can't read at grade level. And without help, many will never catch up. In a world of screens, short attention spans, and endless distractions, getting kids excited about reading has never been harder. That's where Kiwanis Club steps in. Through Inchy's bookworm vending machines, kids earn tokens for positive behaviors, achievements, kindness, and more, and use them to pick a book they just can't wait to read. Every book is a child's to keep. Every book builds a personal at-home library, and every page sparks curiosity, confidence, and lifelong learning. Your club can make it happen. Let's put more books and more smiles into the hands of kids who need them most. Together, we can change the story, one book at a time. To learn more, go to bookvending.com/Kiwanis.
All right, welcome back. Kiwanis Connects. We're talking about resolutions. We're talking about goal setting. We're talking about what we can do as Kiwanians. Before we get back to some serious stuff, Rick brings up an interesting comment that I want to get your take on the lighter side of life. Doc Val, as I know you are a football fan. So there are two conference championship games this weekend that will help determine who's going to play in the Super Bowl. First, we have Rick Upchurch's Denver Broncos taking on the New England Patriots in Denver. Whom are you picking?
Broncos, baby.
even though they don't have Bo Nix quarterbacking, they have Jared Stidham.
You know what? I think that when they come together, they will make it happen. I have been a Broncos fan forever, and so I'm sticking with them. And I'm going to send up positive energy, and maybe the cold weather will be in their favor.
Okay. Well, New England plays in the cold weather too, don't forget.
I know, but I'm hopeful.
Yeah, that's okay. No. That's I got to be honest with you. Rick's going to hate me, and I'm glad I'm saying this 2,500 miles away from him. I tell you what, I would be rooting for the Broncos, but I don't like the fact that Bo Nix got hurt. He's out. Jared Stidham hasn't played in 2 years. The Patriots, Mike Vrabel's got them rocking. Drake May has been playing terrific ball that they're even talking MVP. It will be an upset. I think it'll be a close game, but only because of the quarterback. That's the only reason that I'm going to have to go on the other side and pick the Patriots. Crazy. All right, the other side of the coin, we have the Rams and Seattle. They're playing for the third time this year. Sam Darnold has a little bit of an oblique injury, but he seems to be okay. Your thoughts on that game?
Well, I am fans of both teams, and so this is a harder one for me. And part of that is because I'm going to go with Seattle. And the reason I'm going with Seattle is because the Rams and the Chargers share the same stadium. And I think the wrong team that shares that stadium is in this game.
Oh.
So I'm going with Seattle just because.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Judy Goad says, sorry, her sport is shopping, so she can't really engage in this conversation. That's okay, Judy. That's all right. Everybody's got to be an expert at something, so that's very good that shopping is yours. So I'm only kidding. You know what?
Some people are just calling it sports ball, and and they're going, Val, while you're busy watching your sports ball, I'm going to be doing X, Y, or Z, and it's like, I'm going to be in the rehab center with Mr. Andy, and we're going to have football on constantly, which is a great way to spend time.
Right.
So there you go.
Absolutely. I love it. Rick, didn't Jared Stidham play for the Raiders a couple of years ago? I don't know. I think there might be some film out there, but that's all right. Okay. I really don't care either way who wins this particular game, but I don't like what I've seen with Matthew Stafford the last couple of weeks, and Sam Darnold, even with his arm concern, he still played a solid game and has a good running back. So I'm going to take Seattle at home as well because of their 12th man situation at home. They're like unbeatable at home. Okay, I had to digress a little bit with a little football. Congrats to Indiana for beating Miami this past Monday night, 16-0. From what I saw, the last undefeated team to win the title since Rick Upchurch may have played for this team. I'm not sure. The 1894 Yale team. I think it goes back that far since the last totally undefeated team. I think there was a flash of Rick going down the sideline back then. They didn't have helmets then, and that could explain a whole lot.
But those helmets look like baseball mitts, and I think they were constructed at the same company at that time.
Exactly. It said Spalding up in the front. Exactly right.
Yeah. And that was my team. We chose Indiana because it has a tie to Cal Berkeley, right. And it's one of those things where I could start a controversial war, and it's like I'm not a fan of the portal. And the transfer portal is something that I hope that goes away and dies a painful death, because I think when you make choices as a student, you need to stick with those choices and be able to move forward and actually not be eligible to play the next year just because you feel, hey, I can make more money and all that blah, blah, blah. But that aside, we talk about sports ball right now, and we talk about golf, and we talk about those other things, and that's because most Kiwanians aren't one-dimensional.
Yep.
Kiwanis isn't their 100% life, but you know that if you did something really fun around some of these things, including the Super Bowl coming up, or having a Kiwanis meeting that is all about the Olympic opening ceremony and having someone design and do a competition, you're tying in something that people have to make choices over, because when you have a meeting on a Monday night and you wonder why, where are all of our members? Why aren't they attending a Monday night meeting? It's because, darn it, they're watching their football team.
Yep.
Or,
Absolutely.
it's the basketball night or whatever it is. It's like, tie it in together so people don't have to make hard choices
Yep.
and then make excuses.
No question. I like that idea. I like
Mhm.
that idea. Have it all combined. All right. We only got about 9 minutes left. So let's go to Melissa Atwell, and it is time now for the mental health moment. Take it away, Melissa.
Hi, I'm Melissa Atwell here with your mental health moment. Let's talk about small wins and progress. A win is a win. It does not matter how small or big it is, but what we do need to do is celebrate it. Talk to people about it. Small wins are real wins. Celebrate them. Remember, take a moment for your mental health.
All right. Thank you, Melissa. Great message. Celebrate when you can, no matter how big or small it is. Celebrate that step. Absolutely. Great idea. All right. Let's, which intro would you like, Doc Val? Road, or would you like wow? Which would you like?
Wow.
All right, John. All right, Kiwanis Wow Moments. Take it away, Doc Val.
I saw on NBC with my favorite Craig Melvin. They did a amazing interview with this group called the Deferettes. And the Deferettes are this group. It started off as African American women who played golf. And they had to come up with their own group, and they travel around. And these are amazing women. And I wanted to do a shout out to them because I was told that they love to support nonprofits. And so if you're doing a golf tournament or a golf clinic, especially if it's a golf clinic for girls, and you want to do something, reach out to the Deferettes. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on YouTube. These are an amazing group of women. They cross all generations, and what ties them together are golf and community service. Isn't that amazing?
Love it. Love it.
It's
That's
like,
par for the course.
love them. Funny.
I'm warming up for bad dad jokes. Okay, and can you provide the proper spelling for that so that we can look them up and reach them for our tournaments?
Sure. It's Defferette, DUFFERETTES. And I wish I had, because they have a .com and a .org. And but they are on Facebook, and or you can go back on NBC and watch one of their interviews that they've done. And a lot of ideas that I get for our well moments and some of our special guests come from watching what's going on social media. And I realize that if you don't ask, you don't get. And so several of our guests who have been on television have said, yeah, I would love to be on your show. And
Absolutely.
so we've got 3 or 4 lined up for the month of February that we're guests on a television show.
Cool.
And that's because this is a great way to reach people in a way that's not intimidating. And so I'm going to do my on the road if you're ready.
Yeah, I was just going to say real quickly, though, the Dufferettes that came up on search says that they're a New Jersey-based club.
They are New Jersey-based, but they are
I want to make sure we got the right one.
That. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Very good.
Perfect.
Go for it.
All right. It's like, woo-hoo.
I love that.
I love that. And it's so me.
Yes.
It's so me. Over the next week, we are all over the place, and it is mid-year, midwinter, midterm season. So there are lots of conference and educational opportunities for folks. And so here in Calneva, our midwinter is next weekend. And so our board meetings are Friday, right after our show. And then our midwinter conference with our galas and all that kind of fun stuff are happening in Burbank, California. So if you are in Southern California and want to know more about Kiwanis, come on over to the Marriott Burbank Airport Hotel, and you can register for free and pay for your meal and really learn more about what we're all about. And I wanted to do a shout out to the Southwest District because they kicked off the season last weekend. Thanks, Doug Chadwick, for representing us out there. But lots of opportunities to learn more about Kiwanis. So
absolutely. Capital District, theirs is coming up in a couple of weeks also out here for my district. So tis the season, as they say. Real quickly, did you want to quickly give, since we talked about the Dufferettes, did we want to talk about Rose Float and or Marina?
Absolutely. I always take the opportunity because I want my home club to still love me. I think it's important because I'm always traveling around. I think it's important. And so my Marina Club is actually doing a golf tournament, and it's with Celebrity Grudge Match, and it's on March 12th, actually March 13th, Friday the 13th, a lucky day. And so if there are sponsors out there that can help us, we are one of the leading reasons why kids are fed on a regular basis in our city. We're the reason why there is support for our schools to make sure that kids have books that they can read on a regular basis. We're the reason why there are social events on a regular basis. We are the only service organization in the city that partners every month to provide services to our community. And we support an organization called All in Monterey, which supports 4,500 families a week. And so we need sponsors, we need help. And so I think there's a little tagline going on right now, right?
Yep, the crawl at the bottom, Kiwanis Club of Marina Golf Classic. And I'll tell you what, if speaking of football fans, would you like to share who we know has been confirmed, airplane ticket has been purchased, or would you like me to do that?
Please do that for me because I get so giddy and fangirlish.
Joining us, he has been confirmed, former 49er quarterback Jeff Garcia, ladies and gentlemen, has signed on and will be the first celebrity athlete that has agreed to participate in that event. So if you want to see Jeff, whether you're a fan of the 49ers or the Eagles or the Giants, it don't matter. He's a great guy, and we look forward to having him and you out there. So again, the website is scrolling at the bottom. Whether you want to golf, if you can sponsor, hole signs, whatever it is, we can use your support. Kiwanis Club and Marina Golf Classic. All right. With that, we only have a couple of minutes left. So, John, let's hit it. It's time for Bad Dad Jokes. John? All right. Here you go. These are for Andy. Andy, I'm good thing you're sitting down as I'm going to go over these jokes, or you're probably laying down. What are the strongest days of the week? What are the strongest days of the week? When I give you the answer, you're going to go, oh, crap. What are the strongest days of the week? Saturday and Sunday. Why? Because all others are weekdays. Yep, I said it. That's right. Hey, why did the teddy bear say no to dessert? Why did the teddy bear say no to dessert?
Because he was stuffed.
Already stuffed. Very good there, Doc Val. Love it. How do you stop an astronaut's baby from crying? How do you stop an astronaut's baby from crying? You rock it, of course. Come on now. What do you call a knight who hates fighting? What do you call a knight who hates fighting? And no, it's not Batman, so don't go there, Rick Upchurch. What do you call a knight that hates fighting? Are you ready?
Ready.
Surrender. Surrender. Get it? Knight, surrender.
I like that. Okay.
You like that one? All right, just because you like that one the most, I'll stop Bad Dad Jokes right there because we're up against it, and I got to be time disciplined for my TV show. The Voice of 757 debuted here in Hampton Roads last week on Sky 4. you can go to sky4tv.com, check the programming guide. I will be putting links out to the shows. And listen, it's taken me 20 and a half years to get to TV, traditional TV, and I'm excited about the opportunities. I want to thank everybody involved, and John especially, because when I record, he's doing the editing for me and sending it back to the TV. So John and I always promised each other that when one goes one way, we take the other with us. So John is getting kudos from Sky 4 in editing the shows for me and being part of my TV experience. So thank you, John, for that.
I am now an official TV producer, according to Amanda.
There you go. See, you can put that on your resume, and that'll buy you $5 worth of coffee. Okay, Doc Val, let's wrap it up. Final thoughts.
So as we're entering fully into this new year, I just say go for it. Don't let anything get in your way. Your club has so much power in your communities, and I am thankful to call myself a Kiwanian because of all of you that are visiting and sharing with us your power. So have a phenomenal week and weekend.
Absolutely. Well said. Those of you here on the East Coast are going to be brunt of this weekend storm. Please be safe. Check all your supplies. Make sure you got everything you need just in case. And Kathy, I expect to see pictures of 2 feet of snow up in Erie, Pennsylvania, because down here I'm expecting just a couple inches, but who knows? Anyway, with that, everybody, Andy, glad you're feeling well enough to join us today. You're getting on the road to recovery, and that is great news. Val, hang in there. Help could be on the way for you real soon. With that, everybody, be kind to everybody. Why? We are all we have. That concludes today's show. Thank you for watching.